This edition of PewterPirates.com is brought to you by House of Brews Tavern and Grill. More than beer, House of Brews gives you great food and always great fun.
And speaking of food and fun, we'd like to thank our co-title sponsor, Sea Dog Brewing Company. Its Treasure Island and Clearwater locations boast the exclusive combo of giving its patrons a New England brewery complemented by a golf-inspired menu, both by the beach. Yes, welcome back to another rendition of PewterPirates.com, everybody. Oh, we appreciate our title sponsors, House of Brews and Sea Dog Brewing Company. What do they have in common? Great brews, great food, and great service. Well, training camp keeps on trucking. It's the middle of the grind. Yeah, the preseason games are on the horizon right now, though. Practice after practice after practice. What's on this menu? Lots of good stuff. We check in with head coach Dirk Cutter, where I asked him how would he characterize camp so far and how would he compare it to his last few years as Buccaneer head coach. We go one-on-one with an interesting interview with Vernon Hargreaves, who's of course being pushed in this camp and is coming off a struggling sophomore season in the NFL. And we also have our Buccaneer insider Roy Cummings, his more likely segment where he gives us first impressions on both sides of the football. PewterPirates.com, the training camp edition, is coming up next. Oh, we appreciate you logging on to PewterPirates.com, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Nabors. Well, at this juncture of training camp, definitely the most monotonous if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. No preseason games yet, just practice after practice after practice. They call it the grind. Well, we've seen some progress, though, on both sides of the football. On offense, of course, you have the veteran quarterback, the new starter, Ryan Fitzpatrick, settling in, getting a lot of the reps with the ones that should only serve him well in the first 3 games of this season. And on the defensive side of the ball, all the new additions, especially on the defensive side of the ball, making progress, building chemistry. I had a chance to ask head coach Dirk Cutter, how would he characterize this camp after its first week?
How would you rate the first week here with these guys?
Well, I don't think as a coach you're ever satisfied with where you're at. Like how the guys are working, like how their attitude is, but we got plenty of work to do still.
How would you compare it to past couple of years? Is it different intensity? Is it can you see a change at all?
No, I wouldn't compare it because I just don't look at it like that. I mean, this year is this year, and these guys are working hard to be the best we can be.
We continue our coverage here on PewterPirates.com. We bring in a special guest, of course, Bucs defensive back Vernon Hargreaves. Vernon, let's talk about this training camp. I know last season had to be frustrating on a lot of levels. What's your mindset for this camp?
Just getting better. To keep it simple and keep it boring, just get better. Plain and simple, that's all I need to do, and that's what I'm working on.
You had the cut early in camp, and you had the injury last year. How are you feeling right now?
I feel fine. That's part of football. Injuries are part of football. Not worried about it. I'm fine. I'm healthy. I'm practicing.
This team drafted 2 cornerbacks in the second round. Is that motivation for you going into the season?
Always. But we also needed it, though. Like there's more to the game of football than just competition. We needed guys in the second end. We needed guys to back us up. We needed some guys to get us going, and that's what we did. Mr. Light did a great job in the draft, and I'm really excited about what we have in our room.
You had a really good rookie season. I know last year there were a lot of distractions. Talk about what you see for yourself with this team now in year number 3.
The expectations have grown for me. They expect me to be an all-pro player. They expect me to be a Pro Bowl player. They expect me to impact the game, and that's what I plan on doing, and I appreciate that. Coach Cutter, all the coaches, they expect highly of me, which is why I get coached so hard, which is why everything comes on me, and I appreciate that's the position I'm in, and that's the position I want to be in. So, like I said, I'm getting better. I'm working on it, and things are looking good for us this year.
And finally, when you hear your critics out there, how does that affect you at all? Does that motivate you? Do you ignore it? How do you handle it?
You never ignore the critics. You always got to listen. Always hear what they're saying. Keep it in the back of your mind. Use it for motivation if you need to. But you need to hear everything, the good, the bad. I'm not one to shy away from the bad. I know what I did. I know what I put. I know what I did, what I've done. So, critics don't really bother me.
Well, that was candid stuff from Vernon Hargreaves. This training camp's a little different. You got the indoor facility. It's kind of nice, huh?
Yeah, lovely. Lovely. Great temperature in here. Cool. It's nice.
I love the look, too. That's vintage training camp stuff. Vernon Hargreaves, listen, I appreciate your time. We'll have a great preseason. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you. Will do.
Good stuff from Vernon Hargreaves right there. You know, you got to give him a lot of credit. A lot of athletes in his current predicament wouldn't have been so honest in an interview like that, but he definitely was. Well, speaking of good interviews and good content, we have a lot more in this training camp at pewterpirates.com compared to a season ago. Stuff you can expect each and every week from us. How about these segments? Of course, we'll have one-on-one interviews like you saw with Vernon Hargreaves. We'll also have a rookie diary with up-and-coming cornerback MJ Stewart. Very smart player. Good interview as well. We also have a new segment called Got a Minute, where we have a Buccaneer for 1 minute. We ask him as many questions as possible, and you learn a lot about that player. So lots of stuff coming up on pewterpirates.com. Well, coming up next, we're going to bring in our Buccaneer insider, Roy Cummings, his More Likely segment, where he gives us his first impressions of the Bucs on both sides of the football. There are a lot of neighborhood bars, but there is only one.
House of Brews!
It's now better than ever, freshly remodeled with a new U-shaped bar, where it's clear everybody's having fun at the
House of Brews!
Armed with a full liquor and wine selection, House of Brews houses a large selection of brews. But come on, this place is more than brews. The food takes it to a whole different level. A fresh daily scratch menu serves up a wide variety of favorites, leaving customers always satisfied at the
House of Brews.
Not your average neighborhood bar. Oh, it's so much more. Welcome back to pewterpirates.com. Look who's back, everybody. Our Buccaneer insider, Roy Cummings, for his More Likely segment. It's a first impression More Likely segment. And let's begin, partner, with the offense. So far in training camp, what's been your first impression More Likely of this offense?
I'll tell you what, the thing I think that has really jumped out to me is the way Peyton Barber is running. You know, he's got a guy, Ronald Jones, behind him, chasing him for that those first-team reps, so to speak, even though I think they're going to use a committee approach. But right now, Peyton Barber looks like he's running with authority. He's hitting guys. The 11-on-11 drills, I mean, he's making some sounds with those pads. He's hitting hard, and I like that. The other thing that I've noticed is that the chemistry with Deshaun Jackson, a lot better from all of the quarterbacks. Ryan Fitzpatrick has hit him several times in stride, done a really good job. I like the way he's looked. And the O-line has looked pretty good. Despite being nicked up a little bit, it's looking pretty good.
Hasn't lost his fastball, has he? All right, More Likely number 2 with Roy Cummings, our first impression edition here in training camp. More Likely, what's your first impression of this revamped Bucs defense?
I'll tell you, it's part of the revamp. It's Jason Pierre-Paul. I think Jason Pierre-Paul so far has been by far the most impressive player in this camp, bar none, no matter what side of the football you're talking about, special teams. He is the guy. This guy is playing like it's Sunday afternoon already in 11-on-11 drills. Looks fabulous. The linebacking core looks strong. You know what? I'm even seeing some plays out of the secondary. Some of the kids are making some big plays. Javian Elliott with some blitzes. We're seeing him be effective as a nickel rusher. We're seeing some of the other young cornerbacks, defensive backs, picking balls off, getting their hands on the ball. It's been a really good defensive show so far for the Buccaneers.
And Jason Light needs that big-time free agent hit. He's overdue for that. All right, More Likely number 3, we always like to have fun, our first impression edition. And our first impression of Bucs head coach Dirk Koetter sporting a new look. The beard. Lots of gray in there, but it's every day kind of filling in a little more. I had to ask Dirk Koetter, why the new look? Dirk, you have a new look this camp with the beard. Is that here to stay, or is there a theme with that? No? Oh, Roy, Dirk Koetter not biting on that question. You never know. Sometimes you get a good story, but I kind of like the look. Maybe a playoff beard, maybe a precursor?
You know, I asked him too, and he wouldn't give me any inkling as to what it's all about either. But hey, you know what? I think it looks good on him, and maybe, I don't know, maybe he's going to do it until they lose a game. That'd be fine for me. I think it looks good. Why not? Have a little bit of fun.
I think coaches sometimes, after training camp practice, sometimes they feel like a question like that, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, they do, and that's the way Dirk Koetter is. You know, I'd like to see him lighten up a little bit, but hey, if he doesn't want to do it, that's fine. Maybe he's just tired of shaving. We all get there, don't we?
Exactly. We'll see if it continues or not. Speaking of continuing, we have a continuing podcast, a few extra bucks. Yeah, a few extra takes we can't squeeze in to our pewterpirates.com video blog, so check it out on our website, pewterpirates.com. Please subscribe today. It's free. Well, until next time, I'm Mike Nabors for our Bucs Insider, Roy Cummings. We'll see you again shortly down the road. Now, you want a drinking and dining experience like no other in Tampa Bay? Well, Sea Dog Brewing Company is the place for you. Its Treasure Island location gives its patrons a beautiful waterfront view with 6 brand new boat slips and more to come.
This Sea Dog location has a great selection with local brews, all made in Clearwater, and oh, the specials. You have daily happy hour Monday through Friday from 2 to 6. Mug Club Monday features $6 mules. Taco Tuesdays are always popular, but don't pass up the $9.99 fish fry Thursdays. And on the weekends, enjoy a Sea Dog Brewery Sunday brunch by the beach. So check out Sea Dog Brewery at Treasure Island, 9610 Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island, Florida, 727-954-7805.